Milan is one of the most unique cities in the world. With a population of over 1.3 million people, it's home to Leonardo da Vinci's arguably most famous work, The Last Supper. Milan itself is one of the 4 fashion capitals in the world, a title that is very fun to say, and it's also home to Italy's very first Starbucks. In this episode, we're going to explore a drink whose recipe is still a secret and it's also ordered in Italy itself. And we're also going to look at how sustainable living in Europe might look in the future. And as our very grand finale, I'll be sharing my personal tips to make your visit to Milan that much more fashionable. Let's start with number 1, Duomo, which literally translates to cathedral. This amazing calling card to the city has been 600 years in the making, and to this date there are debates about who is the original architect. And the world's famous Leo, no, not that one, Leonardo da Vinci has actually worked on making this cathedral as well. And what's my personal favorite is that this amazing, massive construction of 3,000 plus statue cathedral has literally shaped the landscape of the city as we know it. Talking about things that have shaped the world, Campari is a world-famous drink that is no joke older than the modern Italy as we know it. And according to their website, they have sold over 2.1 billion bottles last year. That's a lot of cocktails. For those who don't know, Campari is a bitter red aperitif that is typically served with soda water and a slice of orange. And it's one of those recipes that is still a complete mystery. The drink itself was invented in 1860s, about 50 kilometers away from Milan by Gaspare Campari. But it didn't become a household name until the Camparino bar was established in 1915 next to Duomo in the Emanuele shopping center. And what I really love is that to this day you can still experience this historic Camparino bar and have this drink that is 100 plus years old. Amazing! But Mr. Campari didn't just stop at creating a world-class drink. He also propelled one of the most important times of the day in every Italian's life, aperitivo. And where to have a great aperitif experience in Milan will come later. Stay tuned! I was always quite curious, how did Milan become this capital of fashion? You always hear big fashion houses and names such as Dolce & Gabbana, Prada and Versace make Milan their home. And from what I've gathered, the story is twofold. Back in the time when Venice was this massive important trade hub, all the cities nearby have prospered. Cities such as Turin, Naples, Rome and Milan. Back in that time, Milan was already known for producing and working with high-quality textiles and fabrics. Fast forward to the 20th century when Industrial Revolution puts Milan on the global map again because they are producing high-quality garments at a massive scale. Which brings us to 1958 when Milan was chosen to host the Fashion Week. And the big decision-making behind it was that Milan as a city can host large amount of visitors from all over the world. And this is truly when the modern fashionable Milan as we know it has started. And no trip to Milan will be complete without visiting Monte Napoleone Street, which is the 3rd most expensive street in Europe. Everyone is paparazzi in Milano. There is no doubt in my mind you will be there, either shopping or strolling through the place. What I love about this area is that it hosts 2 of the best coffee shops in all of Milan. My top pick is Salomaya, an establishment that has been open since 1957 and it has this beautiful, amazing restaurant that is located in this historic inner courtyard with the hidden gem, the coffee bar that you can stop at for your expertly crafted, cocktail-like coffee experience. And I visited this place about 10 years ago when my dear friend has showed it to me, and I make it my business to come here every single time when I'm in Milan. And the huge thing to note is that it does get busy. And when it does, you might not get in. We didn't get a table. And I mean, they're stopping the service at 2 o'clock, which is in half an hour, and they said no. And at the bar, there was no space for us to have coffee, so next time then. But don't worry, there is this place called Ili Cafe just around the corner, where you can relax in a more modern inner courtyard. Grabbing a table there might be a little bit more expensive, but I highly recommend you do that. More on coffee later. We were not allowed to use our camera here, so I'm literally trying to shoot everything on the phone to show you what sort of food we've got here. Got a chicken Caesar salad, looks absolutely adorable, with a little bit of bread, and club sandwich. If Milan and fashion are located in the more historic parts of the city, there is this whole modern Milan to experience. The place is called Porta Nova and it's this business high-rise district of Milan. The Unicredit Tower is the tallest building in all of Italy, if you are into that kind of thing. What I personally love about this area is the two twin towers that are more commonly known as the vertical forest. The idea behind this concept is that the area where these two buildings are built could have been easily a forest or a park, so instead of not having any greenery whatsoever, they decided to build it vertically. And according to the project's website, the maintenance and the cost of the vertical forest is only 5% higher than of your typical high-rise. And what blows me away is that these two towers house about 800 trees. And the whole idea behind this project is to tackle the pollution, the increasing pollution of the European cities, which I'm all for. I love personally looking at these towers. I think they look so much better than your typical modern glass building. And I'm actually hoping that this trend will catch on. And if you're planning your visit to Milan, you can actually stay at the vertical forest. The link will be in the description box below. Italian coffee scene is amazing and is a huge topic in its own right. Milan as a city can be considered on the pricier side of things, but this is not the case when it comes to the price of a single espresso, and here is why. Italians, bless their cotton socks, have literally classified coffee as life essential and have regulated its price by law since 1911. Basically what it means, a single cup of espresso 100 years ago would cost you the same as now, which is about 1.5 euros. Since there is a price cap on how much coffee shop owners can charge for a single espresso, they started charging extra for sit-down service. Now it also solves the mystery of why there are always two different prices at the entry point. So what I encourage you to do is to sit down, enjoy yourself, relax, and know that your money is going to the coffee shop owner. Beautiful. Whilst we're on the subject of coffee, we need to talk about Starbucks. And to put it mildly, it's an experience. Once you go through the main doors, you are transported into this wild, Willy Wonka-like coffee land. Now, before I'm gonna go and tell you what's inside, should you visit? And I personally think yes, but with an asterisk, being either come here after 12 o'clock, during the peak sun, or after you've done all of your touristy bits, but before dinner. The building itself is a former post office that has been restored and it looks absolutely top tier, 7 out of 5, this high-end place. And once you come in, you have both Starbucks coffee and a more traditional Italian coffee. Expect all of your drinks elevated. And this place functions as a legit roastery that supplies all the European Starbucks with its beans. My personal favorite bit is this cocktail bar upstairs with a 30-foot long, all marble counter that serves cocktails all day long. And I mean all day long. So this is a fancy looking cocktail bar. They don't do any coffees here. It's literally just for cocktails. It's a little bit early for me to have any, but it offers some bloody beautiful views on the whole coffee shop. Have a look. And my best bit is to sit up there and witness this amazing symphony that happens down there, with baristas and bakers and tourists and locals and coffee roasters just going all about their day. And whilst we are on the subject of billion-dollar companies owning real estate in Milan, I have to give a shout out to Apple. That's the Apple Store entrance. Milan, you are crazy. Their flagship store, if I had to put it in one sentence, it's not a shop, it's a piazza. And if you are enjoying this video so far, a sub to this channel would be priceless. Navigli canals. These canals were used to transport marble during the construction of Duomo. Nowadays, this is the most relaxed, laid-back parts of Milan that you can find. There are plenty of outdoor cafes dotted around the canals, and comes 5 o'clock, all these places will be filled with locals who are coming specifically here to enjoy their aperitivo with their friends. My recommendation is to come here during the sunset, grab any table at any of the cafes, and enjoy your aperitivo with a couple of drinks and snacks, a proper Milanese way. Navigli area is about 20 minutes away from Duomo, so grab a tram, but make sure to get off at San Lorenzo columns. There are a few remaining parts of the Roman Empire that you can still see in Milan. This place is a favorite hangout spot and you will see plenty of teenagers skating around. I personally love to stop here to get my favorite ice cream, which is the basil flavored gelato that I love so very much and I try to get every single time when I come to Milan. I dream about it all the time, trust me, it's so good. Now, we talked about Duomo, we've covered fashion, we even figured out the story behind the Campari, and we even talked about 2 coffee spots that you should visit. It's time for the lightning round. Pro travel tips that will make your visit to Milan that much more enjoyable. Let's start with food. Milan is home to arguably the prettiest looking risotto in the world. Risotto alla Milanese is served with cheese and bone marrow, with a touch of saffron for a pop of color. And I would say there is no better place to enjoy it as in one of these restaurants in an Emanuele shopping center. Stay hydrated during your visit. On the streets of Milan, you will see that majority of the locals drinking bottled water, and that's just how they go about their day. But this leads to the common misconception that tap water in Milan is not safe. This is not the case. In fact, both tap and bottled water come from the same springs. And in Milan, you will find 400 public fountains looking like this, where you can top up your bottled water if you choose so.
So good. Better than coffee.
Whilst we're on the subject of staying safe, stay away from the midday peak sun. Summers in Italy and in Milan specifically can get pretty hot, and heat can creep up to you without you even noticing it. So when you are planning your attractions, try to take that into consideration, or at least wear a hat. How to get around Milan. Public transport, especially the metro system, is super cheap to use, very convenient and very easy to navigate, so I will highly recommend you to do that, so much so that you can shave your valuable hours and spend all this time exploring Milan instead. Ice cream. I personally think it's impossible to have bad ice cream in Milan. If you see an ice cream spot in Milan that does gelato specifically, grab it, eat it, enjoy it. During my last visit, I was especially drawn to a Marino gelateria that is right in the middle of Emanuele shopping center next to Duomo. I think we pretty much finished all our days there eating our ice cream, so don't judge me, it was just really delicious.
That's delicious.
Now to the most exciting bit. I have actually created a small Milan travel guide where all of those points that I have talked about in this video will be there, as well as a crash course to all different types of coffee that you can find in Milan, what to get in a grocery shop, all those beautiful food budget friendly places that you can visit, and many more. So go and check it out, it will be in the description box below. I think a massively overlooked fact about Milan and its main attractions such as Duomo, Emanuele shopping center, Monumental Cemetery and Milan Central train station is that they're more akin to mountains. They're these grand, beautiful monuments that every single time you look at, they just simply take your breath away. Visit Milan, it's so worth it. I'm Classic Folly and I will see you in my next video.